But as most of you know, we had a plane crash here yesterday involving a 1982 Beechcraft. The crash, there were 2 people on board. Through our investigation, through some video and stuff, we've come up with a preliminary identification of both victims. Now, of course, this will not be confirmed until after the dental records have been checked. But at this time, we believe the first person was John White, Dr. John White, and he is from Decatur, Illinois. The second individual is Elisa Marie Maddox. Lisa Marie Maddox. She's from Spring Hill, Tennessee. Both victims have been transported. The state forensic lab has them, and we're hoping to hear something from them probably within the next few days. At this point, we are more in a support role. What we'll do is actually assist them in any way that they need, collecting evidence and processing it. But the bulk of the investigation now is just going to be conducted by the FAA and the NTSB, and what they're going to do is try to determine what happened. Why did the plane go down? Our first and primary concern is the victim's family. We hate it for them. Our prayers are with them. I wish there was something that we could say that could comfort them in this time, but really there's nothing we can say. But just know that our thoughts and prayers are with them. And 2, thank you for all the agencies that helped with this. I mean, this was not a Madison City alone response. There was Madison, Huntsville, Limestone, a number of agencies that I'm probably forgetting, but could not have done it without them.
I'm the investigator in charge of the Beech BE-60, which crashed yesterday on approach to the Huntsville airport. The airplane was on an IFR flight plan from Huntsville to Nashville. Shortly after takeoff, the pilot reported to air traffic control that he was experiencing an engine problem and wanted to return to the Huntsville airport. The airplane subsequently crashed on approach to the airport. There were 2 people on board. Both were fatally injured. We're at the very beginning stages of the investigation. We're not drawing any conclusions at this point. We're just trying to get as much factual information as we can without drawing any conclusions and without speculating. We're going to be spending most of the day today documenting the wreckage on site so we can get it prepared to move where we can do further documentation at an off-site facility. We have a systematic approach to looking at the airplane. Even before we physically look at the airplane, we will look at all the maintenance records and documentation surrounding the aircraft's history and maintenance history. But as far as the physical examination, it's a systematic approach, and that's how come I said we're not focusing on one particular thing. We'll look at both engines, we'll look at all the systems in the airplane, we'll document the airplane as best we can from a factual standpoint and gather as much factual information as we can without drawing conclusions. It does not have a traditional, what you're talking about, black box or cockpit flight recorder, CVR. Or CVR or FDR flight data recorder. What it may have is some instrumentation that might record some data for us. Now, we don't know that until we actually get into the instrument panel. I can also tell you that the airplane was significantly consumed by fire, so that also might, in general, a lot of the information that would be stored in an instrument in the cockpit's not crash protected, and when it's subject to heat and impact forces, can be lost. The pilot did report an engine failure. He departed Huntsville, Alabama at about 1:14. Actually was cleared for takeoff at about 1:14, and I'm told that he reported a right engine failure at about 1:30 and indicated that he wanted to return to the Huntsville airport. Indications examining the wreckage preliminarily are that the right engine was secured. What I mean by that is the fuel selector to the right engine is off, and we also did note that the right engine is extremely fragmented. The crankcase to the right engine is broken. I don't want to say, I can't say at this point what the reason for that is. That's something that'll occur later on, but at this point we're certainly looking at the right engine and the entire airplane more closely. It's too early to say. There are evidence of rotation on the left engine propeller as far as it turning at the time of impact. Certainly not the same level as far as the right engine.
Do you know what area he was at when he started turning around and head back?
I haven't had an opportunity to look at the radar data to be able to plot it, to be able to tell you that for certain.
Have you heard yet of maintenance issues in the past?
We haven't looked at, we haven't obtained the maintenance records yet, but that's certainly something we're going to be doing. My understanding is he was going to Nashville initially, and then he was returning back to Huntsville. There'll be a preliminary report out in about 10 business days. I'm sorry, in about 5 business days. Then there will be a factual report in about 6 months. Now that factual report will be sent down to the NTSB board in Washington, D.C. They'll ultimately determine a probable cause. So as far as when the probable cause will be issued, you're looking at like 6 to 8 months.